Hello everybody, welcome back to Slight Bites. Are you cold? I'm cold. We're moving into fall, and it is really cold here in the Midwest. Are your leaves changing in your trees yet? At least I hope they are. It is gorgeous though. This is one of my favorite times of year. Partially because I'm always cold anyway, so now it looks a little more normal for me to be wearing a jacket instead of wearing one in the summer, which seems to, people give you funny looks for that. Anyway, I'm cold, but I love this time of year, and it is beautiful out right now. And you know, if you're like me, you like to, during this time of year, you move into a tubey vibe and a warmer bluesy, jazzy kind of vibe, and you can break out the bourbon and the wine and sit and play some nice bluesy stuff. We are today going to be playing on the Squire Telecaster. It's an Affinity. I've had this one also well over a decade. In open G tuning right now. So if you've been following the channel, you know I recently picked up the Bugera vintage V5 with Infinium built in. It is a great all-tube combo with a 12AX7 and the preamp and an EL84, and they are great, absolutely great sounding. This is geared, it's got British Design Turbo Sound 8-inch speaker, which is, and you know, with the tubes and that speaker, it's geared more for a Voxy vibe. So what do we got here? We've got my Vox VT20 Plus modeling amp. Now this one is cool because it's a hybrid. It has a 12AX7 in the preamp and the rest is solid state. And you know, this doesn't have high gain section or anything, but we are going to try to see how close these get to sounding like, you know, a Bugera or whatever tube amp with their modeling tech. And we'll do some more tones with that. And then I also had the Fender. This is the Fender 1 version 2, so it's like a 20-25 watt amplifier. I've had this one for 8 years. I had the Vox for well over a decade. This is about 8 years. Did you guys get to play with the Fuse tech? I'm so sad about that. I love Fuse. I had a bunch of saved presets and they're all gone now, dang it. There's still a few things saved inside of this though. Did manage to at least have that foresight to save some things, presets in the amp. Which, I mean, I can go in and edit those, but through the amp itself and overwrite. But it's still, man, it was so cool getting to lay my pedals out, and I got a demo of the Ableton software, and I was able to play around with recording. Dang it. Now, I know they got newer stuff and everything, and newer versions of this amp too, but... But anyway, this is a cool amp. It doesn't have a very good British sounding side. It has a British 60 settings, but no matter what I do, it sounds distorted, super distorted. So we might take a look at it, but we're also going to take a look at the Fender tube amp settings and see what they sound like. Because right now I've got my tone sound 4 on this, and it should sound more on par with the bassy side of things. So maybe we'll get a little bit of that. So let's this is all solid state. There's nothing tube about this one. I don't know if you can see this very well. I'm getting closer here. I think it's a pretty amp. Maybe it doesn't really show very well because it's a little dark in here right now, but it's a pretty amp. It's got a nice, you know, silvery grill cloth, and this one does too. But the Vox is a little bit more futuristic looking, but anyway, which is funny considering they're probably well, I won't say they're the oldest, but they're kind of recognized as a classic. So it's kind of funny that it's the most futuristic, I think, looking of all of them. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get into this. So let's go ahead and do some tones. Right now, the volume, we're on the attenuator. This is a 5-watt amp. We're bumped down to 0.1, volume's on 2, tone is at 4, gain is at 10. And that's not uncommon for me. I love gain. Anyway, so let's go ahead and play a little bit. So even at 2 and 1, we'll just let you hear that. So by the time you hit 3 though, the attenuator, so if you're playing that in a smaller place, you might want to be careful with the volume, but around 1, it may not come across on the camera very well, but I can hear that where I'm sitting, but I'm sitting fairly close with my head kind of right in front of it, and it doesn't sound bad. If I had to be really quiet, I could get by on it, and 2 is fine. Still just doesn't, I drive tubes. Anyway, so that's how we're going to do this for this one though. Let's go ahead and put the volume on 4. like open G tuning. I'm getting used to it. The Squier Affinity Telecaster, again, I've had it for like 10 years. I started playing with that tuning on this thing. Sounds great. Anyway, okay, so there you go. So there's the Bugera. So let's go ahead and switch her off for a second. And let's go to the Fender. Let's go ahead to the, actually, let's go to the Vox, because let's do a hybrid next. It makes more sense, I think, to do it that way. Let's go to the Vox VT20 Plus here. Now, it's called the VT20 Plus because it is a 20-watt amplifier, but then you can drive the tubes to eke out another 10 watts of power. And it, just like the Bugera, which I already had on for this video because I've been playing with it a little bit, and it takes a minute, though, to warm up because it is a tube amp. Not as long, but it does take some time. Still got my metal pedal on because this thing has built-in amp modes, models and pedals. So let's go ahead and turn that pedal off, and let's go to, so you have the Vox AC15, US 212, US Blues, and Cali Clean and Clean. Let's go to, and the Vox AC30. Let's go to the Vox AC15 because I think a lot of people feel like that's where this one is trying to get its sound from. So let's go ahead and I'll turn the gain all the way up on this one and drop my volume down a bit. And my power level, you know, it's a rolling attenuator, so you can go anywhere from like as low as you possibly can, above minimum, all the way up to 30. We've got it about, I'd say 10 o'clock right now on the dial. Gain back down. Now this one is a little different because you don't have just one master tone. Right now I've got it set on the red setting on this amp, which means it's all custom, meaning all of it is controlled by me. So let's go ahead and boost up the, well let's just lower the treble a little bit. Because this one doesn't have as much of that treble high end. Okay, that sounds really good, and that sounds very close to this. Again, that is a half solid state, half tube amplifier. So let's go ahead and play a little bit more on the Vox. I think that sounds really, really similar. Really similar. Let's go ahead and go to the Fender side. Let's go to, which they call, we'll just call it the US Blues, is what they're calling it. Let's try that one. Treble back up. I think that sounds very tube-like, and it should, because it does have a tube in the preamp. This is where a lot of things are going. You see those little tube combo, those Joyo, I'm not really sure how you say it, hybrid tube amp heads are getting really popular right now. They are just like this, running on, just like the Vox, they're running on a tube in the preamp and a solid state. So let's go ahead and, I'm sorry, there have to have solid state. I lost track of my thought there as I was turning this on. So let's go to the Fender, and so since it doesn't really have a very good, I'll let you hear the British section. Let's see here. I'm just going to go to the green, because I got just the most basic, turn off some of the mods, give it just a little bit of reverb. That's the bad thing about the Fender. You got to redo all these knobs every time you do this. Gain is only on 4 now. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Like, even if I turn this gain all the way down, as you can see, I'm just losing volume. So let's go ahead and roll these volumes back down so we don't get a squeal, because that will happen with this thing. So let's go ahead and turn the volume all the way back down, all these, and let's go back to the Fender. Let's go to the 57 Deluxe, which I use a lot in a lot of my playing videos, or the twin trim setting. Turn off the effect. Yeah, we're getting a little flabby, but it sounds like a tube. That sounds, on that setting, let's sit back down, that sounds the most tube-like, but it doesn't sound bad, does it? You can hear a little bit of a difference. But also, these are closed back cabs, so you're going to get a little bit of a difference anyway. So let's go ahead and shut her down, and let's go back to the tube, and we'll wrap this up here, so we're not too long in the video. Because no one wants to hear me talk that long. So here we go. So let you hear what this sounds like again. And so what do you guys think so far? What sounded the best of all of these? Again, bear in mind these combo modeling amps, they have a lot of stuff built in. They're all using 80-inch speakers. Every one of these are, but these are closed back, so you're getting a little bit more projection forward. But I also think that it makes things a little punchier, and this is an open back. I think it sounds a little bit more softer and rounder on the bass end. So. well. Could you tell the difference? Could you hear it? Let me know what you think in the comments. I'd love to hear what you all had to say about this one, because I definitely can hear a difference. But if you didn't know, so I will say this: sitting in front of it, you can tell that's a real tube. You can hear small differences when you're sitting in front of it, but can you hear it across there? Would someone listening to you live hear it? I don't know. You be the judge. I want to hear what your comments are, what you thought of this video, and yeah, feel free to comment on this one, because I really want to hear what other people heard themselves. I want to know, because they all sound good on their relative settings. I think the Fender is a little bit more finicky to get there, but you can get there for sure. And there's newer versions of this that might sound better. And same with this, they've replaced this now with something called the new tube technology. I don't have any experience with it, so if you do, again, feel free to chime in, give some feedback on this one, because I'd love to hear what y'all think. So thanks again for watching Slide Bites. Like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Feel free to check me out on Instagram at Slide Bites, same exact spelling. You'll see just more regular playing videos. Thanks again to everyone who keeps watching. I super appreciate it, and keep shredding, partners. Have a great fall. See you soon. Bye.